Miami Central has definitely upped the game for train stations. This place is incredible. Get a look around. Bright, yellow, big, beautiful scenes, that new train smell. A fantastic place to be. We've all been looking forward to Brightline's extension to downtown Miami for a long time now, partly because the average highway speeds are 34 miles an hour. But also because we all know that this is transformational for Miami and for Florida. Brightline is the only privately owned, operated, and maintained intercity passenger rail system in the country. It is poised to change our region and the state of Florida forever. I know all of us at PAM, at the museum, have been looking forward to Brightline's launch since the company first announced its plans. Brightline will be a catalyst for increased development and provide a much-needed mobility option so that cultural destinations like ours, all of ours, can be shared with a broader audience. We're all here today because we work to improve our communities. Thank you. Thank you for all you do for this city, this county, and this state, and making it a great place to live. Now I would like to introduce Patrick Goddard, Brightline's President and Chief Operating Officer.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much. I'd like to read off the list of elected officials. Just kidding. It is my great pleasure to welcome you all to Miami Central, downtown Miami's newest destination that will host first-class dining, an entire zone dedicated to wellness and fitness, street-level retail, our Parkline residential towers, and 2 Miami Central, our Class A office space. As downtown Miami's first true multimodal transit station, it will serve as the connection for Metro Rail, Metro Mover, Tri-Rail, and of course, the state's newest express train service, Brightline. Getting to this important milestone required both tremendous effort and support, and I'd like to thank the many elected officials and friends in attendance, as well as those who could not join today's event, but have believed in our vision and have been with us every step of the way. I want to recognize the relentless work of our Brightline team, past and present. Each one of you have made a lasting and important impact on the state of Florida and on Miami. With traffic congestion at an all-time high, our country is undergoing a necessary transportation revolution. Brightline is a solution to the mobility problems that this state is facing today. It is a more optimistic view of train travel in America and a model that we intend to expand and to replicate. As the first privately owned passenger train service in over 100 years in the United States, this transformative project has already boosted the economies by creating thousands of jobs, encouraging development around the stations, and delivering new customers to local businesses, not to mention making Florida a more attractive state for large corporations to locate. We have invested almost $2 billion in capital to date into critical infrastructure that will improve the mobility for Florida's 20 million residents and 116 million visitors. And we've just gotten started. There has never been a better way to connect these South Florida communities of Fort Lauderdale, West Palm Beach, and now Miami. Our modern and innovative service will offer travelers comfort, reliability, safety, and convenience, while saving time and providing access to upscale amenities and services. We look forward to our residents folding Brightline into their lifestyles and to further improving the travel experience for visitors to this great state. The moment we've been waiting for. We will be kicking off our Brightline service into and out of Miami starting next weekend with our Welcome to the 305 events. Bookings are now open, and we invite you to go to gobrightline.com or download our app to book your first trip. We look forward to seeing you on board and around the stations. Thank you. Go Brightline.
Thank you, Patrick. Next, please welcome Wes Edens, co-founder, principal, and co-chief executive officer of Fortress Investment Group.
Welcome and good morning. It's a little disorienting for me to walk into this building without a hard hat and steel-toed shoes on. We've been in this building for many times over the past number of years, and to see it all come together before us has really been an amazing transformation for us. So welcome to our new house. Thank you to everyone who's here today, for the leadership of the elected officials, Palm Beach, Broward, and Miami, and thanks for the support of our many community partners. It was the vision and determination of Henry Flagler over 100 years ago that brings us here today. It's a bit of a history lesson. He purchased the first Florida railroad in 1885 and began to connect the Florida communities down the East Coast one by one. At the time he started, Florida is one of the poorest states in the nation. When the first train arrived in this very spot on April 15th in 1896, there was less than 400 people that lived in Miami. It's remarkable. The railroad has paved the way for the Miami that we know and love. It's one of the greatest cities in the world. And when we acquired Florida East Coast Railway, I was inspired by the history of Henry Flagler and the transformation that the train brought to Florida. And while Florida is far different today than it was back then, we've seen an entirely new generation of opportunities that have inspired us to accomplish something that hasn't been done in this country in over a century. We see a state that is undergoing significant economic growth and a country that is ready for a transportation revolution. South Florida is actually one of the most heavily trafficked areas of the United States. It's actually quite a relatively narrow strip of land, bordered on one side by the Atlantic Ocean, the other side by the Everglades. And simply, there's no place else to put more roads. So we decided to build a passenger train that harkens back to the vision that was originally brought to us by Henry Flagler. We met with Governor Scott. I want to give a big shout out to today. He supported our vision of a privately financed passenger rail. Simply put, we owned the right-of-way that extended up the East Coast to Cocoa Beach. We needed to get from Cocoa Beach over to the airport, and he was good enough to run an RFP for us. We were a big part of that, and so he really deserves a lot of the success of this project. Our vision for Brightline goes well beyond the state of Florida. We see a number of corridors across the United States that have similar characteristics to what we have here in Florida. Too far to drive, too short to fly is the phrase that I use. And for anyone that has driven from here to West Palm Beach during peak rush hours, or driven from here to Orlando, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Atlanta to Charlotte, Dallas to Houston, there are many others. The U.S. has by far the best freight train system in the world, but has among the worst of the passenger trains, and we seek to be a big part of the solution to change that. This is a model that is commercially viable, is privately financeable, and can change the fabric of transportation in the country. I'm confident that Brightline will build elsewhere, but I'm also proud that we'll always say that we started here in Miami in Florida. We're excited to open this station, which you can see will be a transformative asset in downtown Miami. Just as Henry Flagler did over 100 years ago, we wanted to do more than just build a train station. We wanted to build a vibrant gathering place around the train stop. This will be a terrific community asset for local residents and commuters, with restaurants, residential towers, retail, health and wellness. This is truly the beginning of a new centerpiece for Miami. This is just, and thanks again to everyone who's here and is making this such a success. Thank you.
Thank you, Wes. It's really good to be here in this beautiful new building, but it's also really good to listen to a little bit of history. Of course, we come from that past. It is now my honor to introduce Lieutenant Governor Carlos Lopez Cantera.
I'd like to recognize all the elected officials here today. That was a good joke, Patrick. It was worth repeating. A big thank you to Wes Eden, Fortress, Patrick, Goddard, Brightline, FEC, for the vision to take the risk and invest $1.5 billion in this train, these stations between Palm Beach and Miami, and hopefully more in the future. And Wes spoke about Henry Flagler, but it was 100 106 years ago, this year, that he stepped off his train in Key West, celebrating the completion from Jacksonville to Key West. And it can be argued that none of us would be here today if not for the vision of Henry Flagler. So we owe his vision a big thank you for everything that we enjoy here in this community and the vision of Fortress, FEC, and Brightline. Because I can tell you, contrary to popular belief, the Lieutenant Governor doesn't get a plane. So I've driven a lot of miles in Florida. And it is very true to say that Palm Beach sometimes is too far to drive, but too short to fly. And this is a welcomed option for myself and for many others. So congratulations to Brightline, and I look forward to seeing more successes from them going forward in the future, and I hope you all enjoyed the train ride. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I am now proud to announce Miami City Mayor Francis Suarez. How you doing? Good to see you.
So I take it no one got my memo that Friday was jeans and a... Got it. We got to work on that, Mr. Mayor. And it was interesting, I was talking to the Lieutenant Governor how each speaker cannibalizes the prior speaker's talking point. So in thanking Wes and Fortress and all the subsidiaries that they have, I'm going to say something that I know you already know, Wes, and Patrick, is you guys have a phenomenal team here in Miami. I've had the privilege of working with all of them. I won't name them all. They're sort of in the crowd, they're hidden. But this has been a project that is a labor of love for me. And I also would be remiss if I did not mention the presence of our former mayor, Manny Diaz, who's here, who's he's a friend, he's a mentor, and he's a visionary. But for his leadership and his friendship, I could tell you that it'd be very difficult for me to have achieved what I've achieved in such a short period of time as mayor. So I want to thank him for his support and his friendship. And I want to thank all the elected officials, not that I'm going to repeat them all by name, but certainly our federal partners, our state partners who are here, our county commissioners, I call them my aunts and uncles who are on the TPO with me, and the vice chair. They've allowed me, they blessed me with making me the vice chair and then made me travel around the country. And now that I have a 4-week-old, at least I have a good excuse as to not have to travel. And I certainly thank our state representatives who are here, particularly Javier Fernandez, who was just recently elected, a week ago? So let's give him a round of applause. But honestly, I honestly dreamed of today. This is a dream come true for me as a citizen of Miami. Thank you, Jose. You know what I'm talking about. You know all those phone calls. This is a dream for me. Not that I dreamed that I'd be wearing jeans, but I did dream of this day, of being on this stage, sharing this moment with all of you. I dreamt of it because it is one of the most significant transportation achievements probably today in the United States, to connect 6 million people in the Tri-County area with a very minimal amount of public funds, which were procured to connect another line that runs west of here into this station. For me to be a part of that process, to be a part of the birthing process, the phone calls, it really is just a moment of almost a surreal moment. And so I again want to thank you, Wes, because, every day we're talking about resiliency in Miami. We're talking about, is Miami going to be here in 10 and 15 and 20 years? And what are we going to do as a city to make sure that we are? And when you have companies like yours and others that are making such a monumental investment in the city, it's a message to the world that you believe that we are going to be here for the very, very, very distant future. And resiliency involves transportation. It certainly involves, climatic issues and things of that nature. But working with our congressmen and women, and working with our state officials and our local officials, not only is Miami going to be here for my son and my daughter and for their sons and their daughters, but this beautiful project that you've created today is going to be the catalyst for many, many more projects that are going to connect this community together. So thank you, and I appreciate everything you guys have done.
Next, please welcome Miami-Dade County Commission Chair Esteban Bovo Jr. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Okay, so you said something about dream, right? So I'm going to try to pick off on that if I could. Wes, Patrick, thank you obviously for the leap of faith. And I have a dream. I have a dream that this can be duplicated. This can come throughout our community. I've been accused many a times of turning every meeting into a transportation meeting. But this is the mother of transportation meetings. In essence, the Miami Smart Plan starts today because this gives us an availability to look at the Northeast Corridor in much, much different ways than we've ever looked at it before. The opportunities of connecting Aventura, North Miami Beach, Miami into the downtown of Miami, not to mention that opportunity for those in the north end of, or the south end of Broward County. This starts to become transformative. And quite honestly, I continue to challenge those to look at the South Corridor, the Northeast Corridor, the Beach Corridor as great opportunities to be able to duplicate. It not only helps us solve issues of transportation, which are sorely needed, but it helps us address issues of workforce housing, economic impact, and resiliency. Let's not stop dreaming because we built this here today or you built this here today. Let's continue to collaborate in different ways and send a beacon to those that want to invest in Miami-Dade County that we are ready. We're ready and able to be able to meet our obligations. And before I leave the podium, let me also welcome everybody to Vice Chair Audrey Edmondson's district, who before it became stylish, she had already started crafting a vision of what this area could look like. And all of us that have lived here in Miami-Dade County, could we have ever imagined that soon, our entire downtown area will be alive and thriving, not just Biscayne Boulevard. God bless all the work that's being done here, and let's keep moving forward. Thank you.
From our county to our representative, it is now my pleasure to welcome Congresswoman Frederica Wilson.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very excited this morning to welcome all of you here today, especially my colleagues from the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee who traveled all the way from our nation's capital. Chairman Schuster and Representative Napolitano. Please stand. Let them see you. And we have two other representatives. Representative Debbie Washman Schultz and Carlos Cabello. Stand up, let them see you. I want to also welcome everyone from Palm Beach, Broward, and I think we can have a Dade County Commission meeting in here this morning if we wanted to. All of our citizens and all of the press for coming to this important event. I'm excited to welcome Brightline to Miami. It is a wonderful model for the kind of passenger rail systems that our committee envisions for cities across the nation. This is indeed a very historic moment. In the late 1800s, Miami was transformed when industrialist Henry Flagler built a railroad system in our great city. It provided jobs, jobs, jobs. I'm hoping that history will repeat itself with the launch of Brightline's express passenger rail service. Brightline will give the city's transportation system and its economy much needed and well-deserved boost. In addition to creating jobs directly in Palm Beach, Broward County, Miami. The rail system will provide opportunities for businesses to create jobs all along the route, from Fort Lauderdale, Palm Beach, Miami, vice versa, and ultimately Orlando. In addition, it is my hope that Brightline's presence in the Overtown community will encourage others to reinvest in our once bustling area. Thank you, Representative Edmondson. Jobs, jobs, jobs will be created. Brightline also is good for the environment. The 50 million people who currently fly or drive when traveling between Orlando and South Florida will be able to ride in comfort and style with access to high-speed Wi-Fi, dining options, and other conveniences, and pets are welcome too. Once Brightline service is fully launched, it will take 3 million cars off the road and thus reduce fuel consumption and Florida's carbon footprint, and jobs, jobs, jobs. So there is great cause for celebration today, but also for great caution. As you know, some lives have been lost along the Brightline route. Some of them were suicides, which we did not anticipate. Others occurred because people did not safely cross the tracks. This week in DC, I recorded 2 public service announcements urging pedestrians to use caution when crossing train tracks. I also noted how absolutely imperative it is that parents teach their children how to cross the tracks safely. I'm very pleased that Brightline has teamed up with Florida Operation Lifesaver to promote a safety awareness campaign to teach people to look, to listen, and to live. We're working with Miami-Dade County Public Schools and have distributed flyers to all of our children in our schools. It advises pedestrians and cyclists to look both ways before crossing the tracks. It warns that it is a bad idea to wear headphones near train tracks because the trains are quiet, and they must never ever walk or bike along the tracks or try to chase or outrun a train. I cannot express or stress to you enough the importance of teaching our children these life-saving lessons. These high-speed trains are shiny and exciting and beautiful, and some children will understandably be fascinated by them. Curiosity is a good thing, but safety must come first. That is why I have written a letter to the head of the Federal Railroad Administration to support a recent bid submitted by All Aboard Florida for a grant to construct additional safety treatments along the Brightline corridor to reduce vehicular and pedestrian intrusions when a train is approaching. In addition, I will join transportation experts on a tour of various crossings near schools and in neighborhoods to assess their safety and make recommendations for improvements. Such preventive measures will go a long way in keeping our residents and our visitors safe. Wait until the millions of people who visit Florida each year get a load of these beautiful, comfortable, high-speed trains. I know they will take advantage of the ability to travel from Fort Lauderdale or West Palm Beach to Miami in an hour or less. That is a win-win-win for all of our state, because the more of Florida that visitors can see, the more they will love and want to come back time and time again. It is also a great way for those of us who live in this great state of Florida to explore other parts of Florida, especially our children. So again, welcome to Miami, Brightline, and All Aboard Florida. Thank you.
Truly celebrating impact. Thank you. Now, please welcome U.S. House of Representatives Transportation and Infrastructure Committee Chairman Bill Schuster.
Well, thank you very much. It's great to be here today. I was going to warn you first that I'm the only elected official not from Florida, so I have no time constraints on how long I can speak. But then I was instructed that Mayor Jimenez is running late, so they told me to stretch it out. Now, I'm not a United States Senator, so I really don't understand the art of filibuster, but I'm going to do my best to stretch this out until the mayor, a good friend, makes it here to be able to give his remarks. It is really, truly exciting for me to be here. In fact, this is my 4th trip over the past 3 years to look at this project and to participate in some of these openings. And as I said, it's just incredibly exciting for me. Now, I've come from rural western Pennsylvania, so you'd wonder why, notwithstanding the mayor or the chairman of the Transportation Committee, why would I be so interested in this project? Because this is a project that's good for America. And as Wes talked about and the others about duplicating this or replicating this in other places of the country, it is really needed. So being here, learning what happened here is, and the process they went through is incredibly important for me to be here. Again, and when you come to South Florida, land, sea, or air, when it comes to the modes of transportation, you've got it all. And again, as a transportation junkie, I love to come to these types of things and again, learn to be able to take it back to Washington, D.C. But this project is a great project, and really, number one, because it's driven by the private sector. Private sector capital came to play here, and working closely, though, with the local, state, and federal officials. This, as I said, is a project it's tremendous for us to learn from and to be able to take it around the nation. And as mentioned earlier by the other speakers, this is transformational. Transformational to this region, and it can be also transformational to other places in this country. Again, as my role as transportation chairman, taking this back to Washington and making sure that my fellow members of Congress understand and realize, and I think most of them do, you can't just build more lanes of highway. Whether it's here in South Florida, it's the Northeast Corridor, across this country. We've got to figure out different modes, and this is the mode to move people. And again, this is just a gem, a jewel of a project that, again, we should be able to learn at the federal level, learn from the mistakes we've made, and I know that through the permitting process in this project, we've got to do a better job at the federal level of streamlining it, make projects go faster, because time is money. You save time, you save money, and you can do more and more of these projects. So again, I see that I've filibustered long enough and the mayor has arrived. I was getting a little nervous, Mayor, but again, tremendous for South Florida. Congratulations to Fortress Capital, to the FEC, and to Brightline, and most importantly, congratulations to the people of South Florida. They're going to benefit tremendously from this project. Thank you very much.
And back to the county. It's my honor to welcome Mayor Carlos Jimenez to the stage.
Good morning, everybody. How's everybody doing today? Good morning. Thank you, Chairman Schuster, for filibustering. She should be running for Senate pretty soon, I guess. This is a great day for Miami-Dade County, and please excuse my absence, my lateness. Actually was at an event speaking to the Pope, and he also wishes you all, a great day and success in this project. Actually, I'm kidding. He didn't, but but I did speak to the Pope. Okay, that's true. Okay. This is a really great day for Miami-Dade County, and it's. I want to thank Florida East Coast Industries for their vision in putting this project together. I also want to thank our state, federal partners for all their help. The County Commission, Mr. Chairman, again for your help. I want to thank also Mayor Suarez. At the time, he was Commissioner Suarez. When I think I was in the middle of the Atlantic somewhere, and we spoke about how we were going to, how we needed the money to put the 2 additional tracks up here so that we one day can bring commuter rail to downtown Miami. And that's a very, very significant step. And we took that step so that we can really start to connect the people of Miami-Dade County, Broward, Palm Beach County, the 7 million residents of our Tri-County area, to get them out of their cars, another way to be able to go from Lauderdale, Miami, West Palm Beach, and onward once the connection to Orlando is made. This is a transformational project, and I can't wait to take the first train to Lauderdale and beyond. And I also can't wait to get commuter rail on this line. And so we are going to be talking to the Florida East Coast Brightline folks to see what we can do to start that as quickly as possible, because we all need congestion relief here. And I'm not talking about our noses, I'm talking about our roads, all right? We need congestion relief here in Miami-Dade County. And this is part of the SMART plan. This is one of the legs of the SMART plan. It's something that's already done. The infrastructure has been put down. Now we need to activate it to give our residents relief. And so, again, I think it's a great day for Miami-Dade County, Palm Beach, and Broward. A lot of the people that work right here in downtown come from Palm Beach and Broward, and a lot of people also that work in Palm Beach and Broward come from here. And now you have a way to connect without getting into a car. So again, great day. I was looking forward to it. Thank you, Chairman, for talking as long as you did, so I gave me a chance to get up here and speak. And again, congratulations to everybody, and now let's enjoy the ride. Thank you. May God bless you all.
And now I would like to bring Congresswoman Frederica Wilson back to the podium.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This event is so important that I thought we should put it in the congressional record. So I'm going to ask our Mr. Eden, you all please come. We have a presentation for you of a congressional record to hang in your office, whichever one you have, because I know you have plenty. And this is just the end of it. It says, Mr. Speaker, I ask my colleagues to join me in honoring Brightline during its grand opening at Miami Central Station. This service will contribute to job creation and economic development for passengers in my district and beyond. Mr. Speaker, these remarks will be entered into the official congressional record. They will then be permanently placed in the Library of Congress. Thank you.